In 1530 Scottish King James V, after having trouble with the Armstrong Clan, began to push them off their traditional lands in Gilnockie. The Armstrongs exiled themselves to nearby already overcrowded lands controlled by the powerful Graham clan. This displacement of the Armstrongs onto Graham property began to cause tensions between the two families. On May 29, 1541, a group of clansmen from Clan Graham led by Langwell Graham and believed to consist of more than 50 men, surrounded and murdered 3 Armstrong brothers. A week later Lang Graham arrived at a day of truce organised by the Scottish West March Warden, Lord Maxwell. Lord Maxwell requested that the Grahams make amends for their attack on Armstrong Clansmen. They refused and were emboldened to begin a series of further raids in the Scottish West March. These raids took place through the summer of that year, with the Grahams terrorizing villages and farms along the Scottish border. On July 26, 1530, the Houses of Krikhill, Whisgillis and Stanegill belonging to the Armstrongs were attacked by the Grahams and burned to the ground. On the 2nd of September of the same year, the Armstrongs and other victims of the Grahams' raids, through Lord Maxwell, made an appeal to the Scottish and English crowns for help, but these requests went unanswered. The Armstrongs and the Grahams finally met in battle in the fall of 1530. This was a great clash between the two clans featuring the full fighting force of both. These clans met on the bank of the Esk River near Gilnockie Tower. According to accounts, the battle was prolonged and bloody, with great numbers on both sides being slain. The Armstrongs were eventually victorious, driving the Grahams to Eskdale and over the border into Cumberland, England. This defeat did not stop or slow down the Graham raids as they resumed their attacks on Liddesdale, killing one of the clan leaders, Andrew Armstrong, in the process. Again the Armstrongs appealed to the Crown looking for retribution. After receiving none, the Armstrongs took matters into their own hands and killed Arthur Graham, who was not only a Graham but lived on the south side of the border and was considered an Englishman. Once word got to the English Crown that an Englishman was killed in this feud, King Henry was reportedly furious. Even after the Scottish King James V attempted to placate him, he decided to come to Liddesdale in person with the intent on punishing the Armstrongs. This action led to the Armstrongs holding a grudge against the Scottish Crown for not stepping in and protecting them when they were outlawed by the English Crown. In 1542, when the English moved into Scottish territory at Solway Mass, the Armstrongs refused to come to the aid of the Scottish troops and removed themselves from the fight, and Scotland had to relinquish land to the English. After the English victory in the borderlands, many of the Grahams and Armstrongs were forced to swear allegiance to the English Crown. The two clans buried the hatchet and cemented a bond through intermarriage. George Graham of Fold's daughter married the Armstrong chief's son, Christopher of Barnbleach. Along with several other marriages between the two families, they were now united, and there were very few disputes between the two clans after the mid-16th century.